Big Ten was established for softball back in 1982. Michigan has never lost 4 series in a row to the same opponent, but that could all change today. The ballpark at Rosemont plays host to the second game of a 3-game set between Michigan and Northwestern. As we take you inside the broadcast booth, I'm Ethan Siegel, joined alongside Noah Kaufman. Noah, Northwestern captured Game 1 of this series on the back of the freshman pitcher Marina Mason, a shutout.
Yeah, Mason was fantastic all game long for Northwestern. Just kept Michigan so limited offensively. Only 4 hits for the Wolverines, none for extra bases. You see Erin Hain did her best. Kept the Wildcats underwater for 4 innings before Bridget Donahue had the breakthrough with the 3-run double. But it was a closely played game for much of its run time. It was a well-played game on both sides. Only 1 error between the 2 teams. And we expect to see more great softball tonight.
Taking a look at the Michigan lineup, similar lineup to yesterday with those 3 lefties at the top of the order. Only changed Kylie Carr in the 8th spot instead of Avery Fantucci.
And Lily Valamon had a good day yesterday, only credited with the 1 single, but had a triple. It happened. We all remember it, even though it was called back due to a runner leaving early. She was seeing the ball well. Michigan needs her to continue producing in that 6th spot to create some runs when the top of the order gets on.
In the circle today for Northwestern, the junior Riley Grudzelanek gets the nod. 4.63 ERA entering today's action.
Bit surprised by this decision from Kate Drohan and her staff. Riley Grudzelanek has struggled this year at times with the long ball. She's allowed 9 of them in 39 1/3 innings. The big knock on her has been the control issues. She's walked 27 batters in those 39 innings to go along with 9 hit by pitches and 6 wild pitches. But she has got to keep the ball lower on the ground in the shallow outfield if she can. For a fly ball pitcher with the wind blowing out as hard as it is today, Michigan could have a field day.
Weather going to play a factor in this one. You can see the hair of Grudzelanek whipping around, wind to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 33 miles per hour. And it's blowing in a bunch of directions, but primarily out to the outfield fence. Could be a hitter-friendly day. Indiana Langford readies for the first pitch, swings at the first pitch, over to the second baseman Nito, tosses to Kansas Robinson. A quick start for the Northwestern defense.
Well, a good sign for Riley Grudzelanek. She got that ball in on the hands of Langford. Did what she wanted with the command. When Grudzelanek's command is on, she's one of the harder throwers on this Northwestern team. She can rise the ball up. We saw Michigan struggle with the rise ball at times yesterday. When she is locked into the location of her pitches, she is very difficult to hit. Needs to limit the misses.
Janisa Conway steps in, went 0 for 4 with a strikeout yesterday. She takes the first pitch. It's a top-heavy Michigan lineup, the 1 through 4. Langford, Conway, Putz, and Hain. So much of the damage for Michigan's lineup, but yesterday they were really held to a standstill by Marina Mason.
And that exact group, 1 for 12 with a single and a walk for Michigan, needs to flip today.
The 0-1 pitch fouled back, so Grudzelanek quickly works ahead.
Well, she looks really confident on the rubber right now, does Grudzelanek, attacking these hitters near the middle of the zone. And if she has good stuff, you can leave pitches not necessarily on the edges, as long as it's moving.
0-2, way up for ball 1. We last saw Grudzelanek last weekend against Oregon. She threw just 1 inning on the game on the 27th. Through 5 innings the weekend before in a win against Illinois. Her 5th credited win of the season, a 5-2 record, the 1-2 pitch low and away. Grudzelanek is having one of the better seasons of her career in terms of limiting opponents' hitting. Opposition hitting just 206 against Grudzelanek. Look at that wind whipping, Noah.
Yeah, it really is something. She's done a great job getting pop-ups for the most part. But when you are a fly ball pitcher, those pop-ups can turn into home runs very quickly. And when you walk people in front of those home runs, it becomes a big issue. Now look, if she gets pop-ups and groundouts today and isn't putting people on for free, it's going to be a good day. Has to limit those free passes. All important for pitchers who give up fly balls.
Conway resets before the 2-2 pitch.
And on this 2-2, Grudzelanek can't afford to make this too much of a chase pitch. Conway's already laid off a couple of them. Need to give her something competitive here. We saw her go in on the hands on that last pitch. Might go right back there to try to induce a jam shot.
2-2, ripped foul. Yesterday, Michigan held without a run. They had one briefly, but it was then taken away. You mentioned that triple by Lily Valamont that was then waved away in review because of a runner leaving early. So it meant that for Michigan, only the second time this season with no official extra base hits.
I was about to say, for a team with 111 on the season, so rare that they were held without a single extra base hit.
It ended a streak of 5 straight games for Michigan with 8 or more hits as Grunzolana gets a swing and a miss. Conway fans at the 2-2 pitch outside. First strikeout of the day for Riley Grunzolana.
Well, Ethan, this is beautiful sequencing from Riley Grunzolana. She went back-to-back, up and in. So where does she go here? Back, out, and away with the screwball action on that pitch. Just tailing away from the bat of Janisa Conway. Beautiful work from Grunzolana, keeping hitters off balance for an excellent strikeout.
Lauren Putz takes the first pitch for a ball. Has been Michigan's best offensive player this season. You take a look at that stat line. OPS north of 1,500, average at 449, 13 home runs on the year. That doesn't even include her 30 walks. Gives her an on-base percentage of .565. She's been so fantastic all season long for the Wolverines, but yesterday held hitless, 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
Well, this is the issue when you're facing Lauren Putz, because it's 2-0. You know she's not going to swing at something out of the zone, but you don't want to give her anything in the zone to tee off on. This is where she works a lot of her walks in situations like this.
2-0, ripped out to left field, over the head of Pania, off the wall. She picks it up off one bounce, throws it into the infield, but Lauren Putz, a stand-up double. Just mentioned how no extra base hits a day ago for the Wolverines. They get started quick with one on Saturday.
And the reason Lauren Putz is such a good hitter is because she keeps it simple. This pitch is middle out. It's a mistake by Grunzolana. She leaves it way too far over the middle of the plate. Putz doesn't try to hit this 400 feet. She doesn't try to turn on it and hit it a mile. She goes with the pitch. Middle out over the plate. She takes it to left center, uses her natural power to one-hop the deep walls here at Rosemont and earn herself a double.
13th double of the season for Putz. That's the 3rd best in the Big Ten. She thought about dashing towards third base, but Emma Ray kept it close enough to her feet. And that low pitch for ball 1.
This is where Erin Hain made Purdue pay so often last year. Runners on base, or last week, I should say. Runners on base in front of her. Had 6 RBI in that weekend series.
Entered this series top 10 in the conference in batting average. 1-0, just clips the outside part of the zone for a strike. Grunzolana's pitches in the high 60s miles per hour wise. She's locked into a 1-1 count against the cleanup hitter Hain. Grunzolana tosses, fouled.
Grunzolana staying away from Hain. She has most of her power to the pull side. So staying outside and away from her power source. Now Hain very capable of a base hit up the middle, a base hit into right field, but want to at least stay away from that home run capacity.
Hain hitting .517 on the season with runners in scoring position. Michigan would love to get out to an early lead. 1-2, roped out to left field. Kania trailing back. It's the center fielder Avasado at the warning track who collects and makes the play. Michigan strands one on the base path. Score is 0-0. We head to the bottom of the first inning on Big Ten Plus. Gabby Ellis in the circle for the Wolverines. An 8-4 record and an ERA under 3. She was the Game 2 starter in last weekend's series against Purdue. Through 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, and was credited with that loss.
Ellis, a transfer from Mercer, had a ton of success there in her first 2 seasons in college. Has never seen Northwestern.
Last season at Mercer, 11-5 record, a 2.48 ERA in over 110 innings pitched. Nito takes the 1-1 pitch. It's outside for a ball.
Just a hitter who never gets herself out of the zone with less than 2 strikes. It's a great pitch.
Nito's bat has yet to leave her shoulder through 4 pitches as Ellis froze her with that outside pitch. Ellis, not a pitcher known for her strikeout stuff, just 4 strikeouts per 7 innings, but good at inducing soft contact. Has a 2-2 now against Nito. Tries to go back to the outside pitch, but nothing going.
Ellis, not a pitcher with a ton of strikeouts, just 36 and 62 and 2/3 innings. She doesn't have that put-away stuff.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Gabby Ellis starts her day with a strikeout of Grace Nito. Michigan loves to see that.
Well, just great timing pitch-wise from Michigan here. They have different pitchers with different changeup speeds, and this changeup coming in at 56 miles an hour, a bit quick for a changeup, but the way it just falls off the table when Nito was trying to slap, you can see her frustration. It's perfectly placed against a slap hitter.
Kaylee Avasado enters the batter's box, 1 for 3 yesterday with a single. Northwestern 9 and 4 ever since she's been moved up to the 2 spot in the lineup. Awaits the 1-0 pitch inside.
Very clearly, Michigan is trying to get it on the hands of Kaylee Avasado. It's what they've done all weekend so far. They do not want her to get her hands out and extended.
Avasado yesterday extended her reached base streak to 11 games. Grounder over to the shortstop. Carr has it and throws Avasado out for the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, that's a pitch Kaylee Avasado will want back. A pitch to hit, certainly middle out in her power zone, but just slow enough from Ellis that she got Avasado a little out in front of it and got her to roll over on that ball.
Number 17, catcher Emma Ray.
Emma Ray gets her chance now. Another player who was 1 for 3 yesterday, coming off a strong month of March, 406 across the month. First pitch outside.
Ellis has nibbled against all 3 batters so far. She's not afraid to fall behind in a count, has confidence in her command to bring her back. Doesn't want to give up anything too pretty.
1-0, lifted to the outfield. Right fielder Putz has it. A 1-2-3 inning to start things out for Gabby Ellis, making quick work of the top of the Northwestern order. To the 2nd inning we go on Big Ten Plus. 2 balls out to the warning track in the top of the 1st inning against Riley Grudzelanek, including 1 fly ball all the way back to the warning track. And had this game been played at the J, perhaps those are long balls for Michigan.
Yeah, you have to remember this field is deeper than Sharon J. Drysdale Field in Evanston. The ballpark at Rosemont is deeper by 10 feet down the lines, about 15 to 20 feet in center field. So those extra feet certainly may have made a difference in that top of the 1st inning. You can see how spacious the outfield is. A lot of room to cover for the 3 outfielders out there.
Stevenson hitting .370 in her last 10 games, has boosted up that season-long average up into the 270s. Takes a crack at the 1-1 pitch from Grudzelanek and fouls it back. Missed opportunities. A big storyline for Michigan's offense yesterday. Left 6 on the base pass, including bases loaded opportunity, the 5th inning, and of course had that run that they scored, we thought, in the 4th inning, but that was then called back for a runner leaving early. Northwestern capitalized and plated 4 runs in the bottom of the inning as the 1-2 slapped out to right field in front of Kelsey Nader, gets down for a base hit. Stevenson continues her hot streak. That's her 7th consecutive game with a hit.
Well, the big outfield hurts Michigan in the 1st inning, may have helped them right there. Nader playing pretty deep in right field to try to take away some of Stevenson's power. This pitch is out off the plate. Good piece of hitting by Stevenson to go get it. And Nader just not able to catch up to it with how deep and down the line she was playing.
Stevenson, not much of a threat on the base pass. No stolen base attempts. The grounder gets past the shortstop, Donahue. Another base hit. First pitch swinging from Lily Valamont. She continues to see the ball really well in this series.
Yeah, just continuously hitting the ball on the nose. A lot of hard hit stuff from her. First pitch hunting, and again, a pitch that Grudzelanek left in the middle of the plate. Valamont punishes it. No chance for Bridget Donahue to track that down. And now a big spot for a player who found her way on base 3 times yesterday in Maddie Erickson.
Those 3 times came via a walk and 2 hit-by pitches. His first time through the order, already seeing some hard-hit contact off Riley Grudzelanek, and Michigan continuing to swing at those first pitches in the zone.
It's a situation where you would expect to see a team like Michigan go for a bunt. Bonnie Thole has only asked Erickson to bunt a couple times this year. She only has 1 sacrifice on the season.
Stevenson on second, Valamont on first, 0-1. Bunt is indeed laid down, but fouled back, and now down 0-2. Bunt probably out of play now.
Well, that's probably why the bunt hasn't been on as often for Erickson. She did not look comfortable on that attempt. A pretty decent pitch to bunt. Just didn't get the bat to it in time. Now she's in a hole.
2026 stats for Erickson. You see that 157 average. Does have an on-base percentage of 263. She's been better as of late, has reached base in 11 straight games. She was hitting just 105 at the end of the month of February. Had a much better March to start to boost that average, but still searching for consistency at the plate. Now she readies for the 0-2 pitch from Grudzelanek. The rock and delivery, left low.
Yesterday, Northwestern was attacking Erickson early in the count inside. She got a couple hit-by pitches out of it. We've seen them stay more away from her so far in this at-bat, although there was 1 inside pitch.
The 1-2 way outside. Yesterday, Erickson drew a walk, her 4th walk in the last 5 games, and actually her first 4 walks of the season. Had no walks in her first 64 plate appearances of the year. Has been seeing the ball better as of late. Emma Ray calls for time.
In this situation, Grudzelanek just has to be a lot more competitive than she was in the previous 2 pitches. If you're trying to tempt Erickson to swing outside the zone, the ball at least has to be close. And for Erickson, fight as long as you can.
After the brief delay, the 2-2 roped out to left center field. That'll score a run. Gets all the way out to the warning track. Stevenson comes around to score. Here comes Valamont. She slides in to score a 2-run knock off the bat of Maddie Erickson. Michigan jumps out to an early lead. Back-to-back base hits to start out the 2nd inning on all hard-hit balls. 2 singles and now a double for Maddie Erickson out to left center in that huge space in the outfield helping out the Wolverines.
And you can see the glove there for Emma Ray. It was low and away. She wanted that ball down. Riley Grudzelanek leaves it up. Maddie Erickson makes no mistake, roping it into the left center gap to score 2. Lily Valamont hustling hard all the way around the bases. Not easy.
In only 3 outs so far.
2 extra base hits as well. They're just hitting the ball a lot harder. Everything is barreled up. Against Mason yesterday, very few balls on the barrel. End of the bat, jam shots, not a lot that was squared up. Different story today.
Still no outs in the top of the 2nd. Erickson standing on second base. First pitch to Kylie Carr. Misses low. Carr came in as a pinch hitter in yesterday's game and struck out.
Well, with how good Ellis looks in the first inning, if you're Michigan, you feel really good about a 3rd run here. Would not be surprised to see them bunt Kylie Carr, although they might have confidence in her pulling the ball as a left-handed hitter.
1-0 pitch, swung on, foul. After the loss in the Saturday game last weekend against Purdue, Bonnie Thole said she challenged her team and credited the juniors and seniors especially for how they responded. You have to imagine a similar thing after yesterday, as these trends not boding well for Northwestern, just 4-11 on the season when their opposition scores first.
Yeah, you talked yesterday, Ethan, about how they've struggled to be a comeback team so far this season, but Michigan has just looked really resilient at times this year. You know, there's been times when they've struggled when they've gotten in holes, and there's times when they've really bounced back, and they really bounced back well after that Saturday game against Purdue, and now an opportunity to show that they're bouncing back again in this Saturday game.
2-1 pitch to Carr. This is low. Kylie Carr in the midweek game this week against Oakland went 2 for 4 with an RBI double. 3-1, another hard hit ball to straightaway center. Kaylee Avasado has it for the first out of the inning. But once again, hard hit contact against Riley Grudzalonic.
Yeah, I mean, Carr technically did not do her job there, but what else can you ask from your true freshman? Line drive right back through the middle, and yeah, they're squaring her up. This ball, again, catches a lot of the middle of the plate, and Carr turns it around in a hurry, and Kate Drohan is not going to wait around to see any more here. It looks like she is ready to make a change in the circle.
A 4.30 ERA on the season, just a 1-3 record for the sophomore from California in her 29 and some change innings pitched. She's gonna offer Northwestern some funky late break and some different looks with the off-speed pitches as opposed to what the Wolverines have seen so far this weekend after Riley Grudzalonic was only able to get 4 outs.
She has comparable velocity to Grudzalonic, but as you mentioned, more spinny, a lot more late movement.
Alakwa chops the pitch right back to Blay, who has to run over to field it. Tried to recover, but just in time, Alakwa able to leg it out. An unfortunate bounce for Northwestern. It was a bang-bang play at the plate, but the Wolverines get the benefit of the doubt, and now 2 on the pond.
Yeah, close play. Going to be conversation here about a potential review. The call happened right in front of the Northwestern dugout, and Blay, you can see the reaction, just couldn't quite get the glove to the ball.
Second call at first base.
So it looks like Northwestern's challenging on that replay. Look, it looked like she was safe. You can see it there. I think just does beat the play, does Alakwa with her speed out of the box.
Yeah, initial look looks like Alakwa got there first, but we'll enter a review and see if any additional angles show anything different. But assuming this call stands, it would be 2 on the base pass for the top of the Michigan order, still with just 1 out in the second inning.
Like you said, a bad break for Northwestern and a play that I think Emma Blay wants back. It could turn into a big problem, especially with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. For Indiana Lakeford's slapping ability, not where you want to be. She can do a lot of different things with the ball in that situation, and the Wolverines can put a lot of pressure on the base pass.
A quick review, here's the call from Brent Pardon.
After further review, the ruling on the challenge.
So Cats lose a challenge, and indeed Janelle Alakwa is safe at first base. Already the 4th hit of this second inning.
Well, the good news for Northwestern is that ball was not hit nearly as hard as the previous 6, so at least a good trend in that category. And now you wonder if Michigan will test Emma Ray here. They've got speed at first with Alakwa, not quite as much speed at third, but Erickson can run a little bit. Will they try to steal here?
5 infielders in for Northwestern. They've been doing it all series against Indiana Langford, the slap hitter, bringing Kaylee Avasado in from center field, playing right in the middle of the infield and shifting their outfield accordingly.
Alakwa only 1 for 2 on the season, stealing bases. Still a threat there. Langford obviously tons of speed at the plate.
Takes the 1-0 pitch right down Broadway for a strike.
Well, this is where Langford is very capable of laying down a bunt. Northwestern aware of that as well. Very good handler of the bat. Doesn't even need to necessarily be a squeeze. Northwestern will be wary about throwing it to first with a runner on third.
Runners on the corners, 1-1. Strike 2.
It's a really tough pitch for Langford to deal with. Up in the zone. Hard to get her bat there the way she wants to. Plenty of speed on that pitch as well.
Langford currently has a 21-game reached base streak. Takes the 1-2, just misses. Northwestern was fired up. Cats thought that clipped the outside part of the plate, but no.
Well, we don't have the exact center field angle, but that certainly looks like it clips part of home plate. Could have been called low, I suppose. Really good looking pitch at 69 miles an hour.
The 2-2 pitch to Langford, poked foul. Langford last year All Big Ten first team, hit .406 with 20 multi-hit games. Her second season, her second time I should say, being named to an All Big Ten team, with second team back in 2023. Certainly in the conversation for one of those spots again in 2026 with the way she's been hitting. A .443 average on the year. Try the 2-2 again. Outside part of the plate again. Northwestern doesn't get the call and the count is full.
That's a difficult one to explain. I think that pitch is certainly a strike. It's a tough miss in this spot. I mean, we'll take another look.
Ooh.
Man, that sure looks like a strike from the angle we have.
Crowd getting rowdy. Payoff pitch. Slapped foul again.
Langford's caught a couple breaks in this at bat, and she doesn't usually need too many of those. Such a fighter, does not go down on strikes often. We'll see who wins the battle.
8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. The senior Langford, such a veteran approach. Payoff pitch. Another foul ball. We'll see pitch number 9.
Well, I think Langford would love a walk in this spot. She's happy to foul pitches off until she gets there. Easier said than done, of course, but
Langford, a walk rate this season over 18%, so certainly privy to that. The 3-2. We'll do it again. Double-digit pitches for just the second batter that Emma Blay comes in to face in this game, and Michigan's lineup already making her work hard.
it looks easy to just turn your bat into those and spray them foul on the third base line. I promise you it is not. It takes some skill. Langford, a master at extending at bats.
3-2, poked foul. Feel like I'm becoming a little bit repetitive here, Noah.
Well, Emma Blay's done a great job pitching through the frustration. When you feel like you've had a player struck out a time or two already, it can be difficult to keep executing pitches. She's done a really good job of that so far, but the more pitches, the more likely she is to miss.
Blay has tried a bunch of different locations and pitch types. Let's see what she tries on pitch number 11. Just low, ball 4. A long walk. Indiana Langford earned that base.
This pitch is low, certainly, and it's Blay trying to attempt to swing out of Langford below the zone. She does a great job to lay off. You can see this pitch coming in right around the bottom of the knees. That pitch needs to be above the knee to be a rule book strike. So certainly is a low pitch, and a well-worked walk by Langford. And
now the bases are loaded for Janisa Conway, who struck out back in the first inning. She's had some struggles against Northwestern in her career. In 5 games against the Cats, 0 for 12. 4 strikeouts and a singular walk. It's the only time she's reached base against Northwestern, but could flip that narrative with a big hit here to extend the lead and break this game open early for the Wolverine. She's ahead 1-0.
See the infield hit at all 4 positions, playing for a play at the plate.
1-0, misses away, and now Emma Ray wants to talk to her pitcher.
This is when Emma Blay gets in trouble this season. 18 walks coming into today in 29 1/3 innings. Now already up to 19 in today's action. Just can't be missing badly in back-to-back pitches like that, and that's why Michelle Gascoigne, coming out to try to calm her young pitcher, really struggled with the walk last year as well. When her location is on, her stuff is great, but when the control is off and that long at bat may have thrown her off a little bit, it can be hard for her to get back on course.
Conway, the team leader for the Wolverines in base hits this season. And over 50% of them go for extra bases. Conway's bat packs a punch. 25 total extra base hits on the year, including 6 triples, which leads the Big Ten.
Well, this is a triples ballpark if there ever was one. She's such a gap hitter. Can go right center to left center with a lot of ease.
The lefty hitter awaits the 2-0 pitch after the conversation. Pushes it the other way, but it's foul.
Ray left that one right down the middle of the zone, but just got it low enough that it was difficult for Conway to square up. 70 miles an hour out of the hand doesn't help either.
Conway hitting .376 on the 2026 campaign. 2-1. No doubt about that one. That's a strike.
Well, Ray's bringing a little extra juice than what we saw with Grunzalonic. 70 miles an hour on back-to-back pitches. Doesn't seem like so much of a difference, 70 to 68. Just that little jump can affect a hitter's timing.
2-2, the delivery. Swing and a miss. Emma Blay, a huge strikeout with the bases loaded. I think Blay might have thought that was the inning ender, but now just 2 outs. Emma Blay smiles as she walks back into the circle.
Blay, it's a big strikeout no matter what for Blay, but now she's got to go through an even scarier hitter in Lauren Putz. Beautiful pitch on the outside part of the plate, just sinks under the bat of Conway, who struggles against Northwestern continue.
Third strikeout of the series for Conway. You mentioned Lauren Putz, the scariest hitter in this Michigan lineup, excuse me.
Well, and most importantly for Blay, started her with a strike right there. That opens up her options so much wider. Doesn't have to come into Putz now.
Putz lost her 5-game hit streak yesterday, but already responded by doubling an inning ago.
Another close pitch goes Michigan's way. That one might have been a little low. It's close, but when a player like Putz is getting the calls on the margins, it makes her all the more dangerous.
1-1 from Blay. Lifted out to right field. Kelsey Nader, it's above her head, out to the warning track. That's going to score a handful for the Wolverines. One comes around to score. Here's another bases clearing hit for Lauren Putz as she rounds the bases. Michigan has been seeing, regardless of who's in the game, Grunzalonic, Emma Blay, and just been roping hits out to the outfield thus far.
Well, the difference between 1-1 and 0-2, Emma Blay feels like she has to go in on Lauren Putz here and puts it in a place, no pun intended, where Putz can really bring her barrel to the ball. Middle in and didn't get it as low as she wanted, just above the knees. Putz gets through it, just drives that thing. I mean, not a very high launch angle, and it still gets over Nader's head and right. So much natural power. She clears the bases. Michigan in command early.
Tack on 3 more RBI, is up to 52 on the season. Blay fields a soft dribbler to throw out Erin Hain, which will finally end the inning, but 5 runs come across for the Wolverines. Michigan's power showing up one day after being shut out. The bats are hot for Michigan in this one. 5-0, we head to the bottom of the second. Big Ten Plus. 5 runs on 5 hits in the top of the second for the Wolverines. Feels like it's been a while since Gabby Ellis was in the circle in the first inning. Some reviews and lots of base runners in the top of the inning, so some extra time in the dugout for Gabby Ellis, but she looked great in the first inning.
She absolutely did. Both through this Northwestern lineup, the top 3. And for Northwestern, again, in that top of the second, it was the little things, right? It's the infield single going off Blay's glove. It's thinking you had Langford struck out twice and are ending up working a walk. That's what creates the conditions for the big hit from Putz. They got those little things in their favor to set up the big inning yesterday. Today, Michigan able to do it to them. Can the Wildcats hit back? They've struggled to do that this year. We'll see if today can be different.
An impressive early response from Michigan after the 4-0 loss yesterday, as Robinson takes a ball.
I don't want to alarm you, Ethan, but the outside corner is growing smaller and smaller as this game progresses.
Robinson hitting .253 on the season. Yesterday was the first time in her career against Michigan, 7 games, that she didn't record a hit in the ball game against Michigan. She's been a Wolverine killer in the past. Northwestern didn't even need their cleanup hitters' production to eke out 4 runs to a Game 1 win as she takes the 2-1 pitch inside. No, we talked about the desperation levels for both of these teams entering this series, both under 500 in Big Ten play. Northwestern with the win yesterday moves to 5-5. Michigan sitting at 2-8 in conference play. Yes, a tough schedule, but Michigan responding well. They know they need some conference wins. Robinson, a rope out to right field. First base hit of the game, first base runner of the game for the Cats.
Well, Northwestern was ahead in the count plenty in the bottom of the first and couldn't make Ellis pay. That time, Kansas Robinson sees a 3-1 pitch in the middle of the zone and knows what to do with it, just pushing it through that right side. Gotta be a confident day for the middle part of this Northwestern lineup. I said yesterday, this middle third would be the impact part of the lineup. They had all 4 RBIs. Might be the case today as well.
It was Donahue, who's now up at the plate, who had that 3 RBI double in the 5th inning to start the scoring, and that proved to be more than enough for Northwestern to capture the win. Cats crowd getting into it. Even though they're playing 15 miles from their home base in Evanston and Rosemont, crowd still showing up to support Northwestern. Kate Drohan talked about what a welcoming environment Rosemont and the ballpark at Rosemont has been as Donahue works herself a very hitter-friendly count. Noah, your reaction to some of these pitches has been a little animated here in the broadcast booth. The strike zone, you mentioned you thought it was striking, and you think some of these calls have been a little dicey.
Well, I just think it's going to be a really long day for the pitchers, right? The wind is blowing out. The zone is very small. It's tough. Has it been consistent? In this inning, it certainly has. You can't fault any umpire when their zone is consistent. But when the zone is small and the wind is blowing out, it's always going to be a tough day at the office, and I just feel for those poor pitchers. There's been a lot of discourse in the national softball landscape this year with the sport becoming more and more hitter-friendly by the year, right? We're seeing huge hitting numbers every single season. Oklahoma's got a freshman with 30 home runs 40 games into the season. When that is paired with a shrinking strike zone, it just becomes such a difficult sport for pitchers and defense. And it feels like that balance at times is really going one way.
4-pitch walk for Bridget Donahue was a big part of the Cats' offense yesterday. Northwestern drew 5 walks against Erin Hain. Now Northwestern a chance to strike. Runners on first and second, no outs. Inside pitch to start off against Kelsey Nader. Ball 1. Nader followed up that.
And it just hasn't been the case today.
1-0 to Nader. This is inside. The double yesterday for Nader, just her 6th extra base hit of the season. Just an 18% extra base hit rate, down from 31% a year ago. But
she's had a bit of a power outage at times this season. Still seeing the ball very well, and has done more slapping this year as well.
Leads Northwestern in total hits as 7 consecutive balls have been thrown by Gabby Ellis, really struggling to find the strike zone right now. And
she's actually thrown balls on 10 of her last 11 pitches, and the only strike was a base hit. So not feeling great about that if you're Ellis.
3-0 pitch misses inside.
You can see Ellis, I mean, look at how frustrated she is. And when you get into that headspace as a pitcher, and I don't disagree with her. I mean, I think that pitch can easily be a strike, but it's been called a ball all inning long. But when you get into that headspace as a pitcher, it's so hard to get out of it, Ethan. When you get into the, I can't believe I didn't get this call. Look at her reaction after the pitch. She wants that strike. She thinks it's a strike. She's not showing up the umpire. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying she's doing anything horribly wrong there, but it's just so hard to get out of that mindset as a pitcher when you feel like you're being hard done by.
A huge opportunity for the first year. Kate Renshin, 9 consecutive balls. If you're Kate Drohan, are you telling your first year hitter, don't swing at anything until she starts to throw strikes?
Kate Drohan usually has a lot of trust in her hitters. I think you tell her, hey, you gotta be very careful. It's gotta be a perfect pitch. But she rarely puts the full red light on. Wow, that pitch. Wow. I have rarely seen something like this across what we've seen this entire inning.
You can see Ellis was smiling and laughing, just wondering when she's going to get a strike. She's been tossing all around the zone. Valamont behind the dish trying to calm her down. The 2-0 pitch misses high. The accuracy issues for Gabby Ellis continue, and now just 1 ball away from walking in a run. Still no outs, bases loaded.
Well, now the red light is definitely on.
3-0 misses inside. 3 consecutive 4-pitch walks offered by Gabby Ellis. Northwestern plates a run. Kansas Robinson taps on home.
That may well be, and I don't know. I haven't tracked Gabby Ellis's career. The first time that's ever happened to her. It's very rare for a pitcher to have 12 straight balls like that, especially a pitcher who's typically pretty accurate like Ellis is. It's such a tough spot to be in. and probably pretty unprecedented for her. Well, the tying run's in the plate suddenly. Well, that pitch was farther outside than the last one that got called a ball.
Finally, a strike call after 12 consecutive balls to start out Izzy Kania. The 1-0 sent over to the second baseman, coming home with it. Runner out in time. It was a heads-up play by Alakwa. And the Donahue, the lead runner, thrown out for the first out of the inning.
Well, a lot of coaches would not gamble this way, would not have the infield drawn in with a 4-run lead. But I think Bonnie Thole knows how early this is in the game, doesn't want things to snowball whatsoever, has confidence in her fielders as well, and trusts Alakwa to make that play there. And she made the play. Ball was hit sharply, that helped, and right at her. Nice play by Alakwa.
And how about the stretch from Valamont to reach out and snag it as a first pitch strike to True Medina, the 9th spot today.
Well, now Ellis starting to find the zone. Medina, who probably came up wanting to take a little bit, suddenly behind 0-2. It makes things a lot tougher.
The 0-2 pitch, Medina wouldn't bite. 2 first-years in this lineup for Northwestern today, Renshin and Medina. Medina's been a day-1 starter for the Cats in her first year in purple. Big opportunity here with the bases jammed. That one off the glove of the pitcher. Still time to make the play at first, but it'll plate a run for Northwestern. A hard-hit ball off the bat of True Medina gives her an RBI, make it 5-2.
Well, another great play by this great Michigan defense. Kylie Carr, who hasn't seen a lot of time this year as a starting shortstop, reacts to this very well. Doesn't think about home, knows she doesn't have time for that. It's a really great play by the local product.
Northwestern fortunate that Ellis wasn't able to snag that one. Could have very well been a double play with all the runners seeing that hard hit contact off the bat.
Still, this is a massive win for Ellis and Michigan if you can come out of here with just 2 runs allowed.
Nito down in the count 0-2.
Struck out on a full count last inning. Saw a lot of pitches from Ellis.
0-2 pitch. Ellis keeps trying to attack with 2 strikes for the strikeout pitch, but Northwestern's offense, for the most part, has done a good job of laying off.
Yeah, they haven't expanded the zone at all. When she struck Nito out, that was on a great changeup that settled into the zone, but Wildcat hitters have not swung at pitches outside of the zone against her.
Nito struck out last inning, trying to avoid the same fate in the second. An awkwardly jammed shot over to the third baseman, Erickson, for the 3rd out of the inning, but Northwestern able to make up a few runs. Avasado swings at the first pitch, gets past the infield. She's aboard with a leadoff knock. Avasado led Northwestern in hits a year ago during her freshman season. Following it up with a great sophomore campaign. Gets aboard to start the 3rd inning. She's always a threat on the base paths. Has 4 stolen bases this season, but was the first Wildcat freshman to steal 20 or more bases since Rachel Lewis did it back in 2018. Although Northwestern hasn't been quite as aggressive on the base paths recently. Avasado just 2 stolen bases since opening day.
Well, True Medina did steal a base yesterday on Lily Valamont, but typically Northwestern wants to steal with a left-handed hitter at the plate so as to block Valamont's view a little bit. So if she does steal, wouldn't be here.
Ray takes the 1-0, but it gets away from the catcher, and Avasado will advance.
Well, that'll almost certainly go down as a passed ball, a pitch Lily Valamont, I'm sure, wants back, and a very valuable runner in scoring position here for the Wildcats.
Quick jump from Avasado to ID that ball sputtered away from the catcher and trot down to second. Indeed, the call is a passed ball. Ray taps the 1-1 pitch just a few feet in front of the catcher. Valamont promptly throws Ray out. We saw Ray reach on a single in a similar play yesterday, but that time Valamont popped up and quickly threw out the catcher. Avasado able to advance to 3rd. Effectively serves as a bunt.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good bounce back from Lily Valamont. It can be difficult when you've made a mistake as a catcher especially to come right back the next play and have the ball hit to you. She was ready, she was aware, she made the play, got the out. Big spot for Kansas Robinson.
Sacrifice fly in play, first pitch strike. Nice job by the catcher Valamont to frame that one into the zone. Robinson had the first base hit of the day and the only one before Kaylee Avasados just a few moments ago for Northwestern. Ellis fires the 0-1. That one launched out to right field, no doubt about it. See you later. Kansas Robinson uncorks a 2-run shot to draw closer. It's 5-4 in Rosemont.
All weekend, Michigan has stayed away from Kansas Robinson whenever possible. They just tried to sneak one by her on the inside part of the plate, and Robinson shows the Wolverines why she is so dangerous. This pitch is on the inside corner. Robinson's hands are just so quick though. Down and in is where she loves to see the ball, and you can see how quick that ball gets out of here. Just absolutely labeled on that pitch. 77 exit velo for KR.
7th home run on the year for the senior Kansas Robinson, and the 3rd time in her career she's hit a home run against the Wolverines.
Loves playing against Michigan, Kansas Robinson. Bringing that career average against the Wolverines back up over 400.
Just like that, Michigan led 5-0, but has since given up 4 unanswered, and we've got a ball game on Saturday night.
Well, this is the Cardiac Cats we saw in Big Ten play the last few years. Hadn't seen so much of them this season. In the biggest series of the year so far, he showed up.
2-0 pitch in the zone. First home run of the series for either side. And I'm sure if you had asked Bonnie Thole, with it being so early, she knew that 5-run lead was not safe. She told us every time these two teams have played, really for the past few decades, it's been a huge battle between two of the most storied programs in the Big Ten. And Thole knows that. She played with Michigan, spent years as an assistant coach under Carol Hutchins, and has been the head coach for the last half-decade or so. And she's seen plenty of battles between the Wolverines and Wildcats.
33 seasons for Thole at Michigan. After back-to-back great pitches, Ellis just misses that one a little bit. And that's not even counting her playing years. So really 37 seasons that Bonnie Thole spent in Michigan. She's been there for almost all of those Northwestern Big Ten championships and quite a few Michigan ones as well.
These teams have combined for 17 of the last 19 Big Ten titles. Payoff pitch, fouled back. These teams also have won the trophy in each of the last 3 Big Ten tournaments.
This Michigan staff is just so experienced. You got Jennifer Brundage, who was there with Thole and Hutchins almost the whole way. You see the Women's College World Series is for Northwestern. Amanda Chidester, it's only her 4th season in Ann Arbor, but she obviously has such experience as a Michigan player as well before moving over as a coach.
Second walk of the day for Bridget Donahue, who battled against Ellis, who's still been struggling to find consistency locating. 51 total pitches, still under 50% of them have been strikes. 23 strikes to 28 balls, and Northwestern's got another runner on.
And I will say one thing it seems like we are seeing develop here is outside pitches to left-handed hitters are less and less likely to be called strikes versus right-handed hitters. If you look at the walks, almost all of them have been to lefties in this game, especially when the outside pitches have missed.
2-0 count to Nader. Is part of that trio of walks an inning ago that helped to juice the bases for the Wildcats. Sees her first strike in 2 plate appearances of the day.
Nader is such a patient hitter, almost too patient sometimes. That was a beautiful pitch to hit on 2-0, but she just has such confidence in her ability at any count.
Ferguson, the sophomore from Ohio. This is on the 2-1 pitch. She was rated the number 3 prospect 2 recruiting classes ago by Extra Innings, so gives you an idea of the pedigree and talent level for the right-handed pitcher. Now the 3-1. Down the pipe for a strike.
Even on the 3-1 there, you saw Erickson was way in at 3rd. She's still in on the 3-2. It's the unique challenge that Kelsey Nader poses to a defense.
Payoff pitch, Ferguson to Nader. Misses high, ball 4, back-to-back walks for Donahue and Nader. Cats look poised to strike again.
That's not where Ferguson wanted that pitch, but it's a good layoff from Nader all the same. She wanted it a little lower, somewhere a bit more competitive near the top of the zone. Still can be tough to take on a 3-2 count. We haven't seen Kate Wrench get to swing the bat yet this weekend. I'm sure she's champing at the bit.
Still earned an RBI, her last plate appearance with that bases-loaded walk.
But this is where you make your impact as a first-year player, especially for a veteran coach. You see Wrench being asked to lay down the bunt there. Did well to pull it back. It's not a natural bunt spot with 1 out, but you see teams go to this sometimes.
She takes the 1-0 outside. Wrench, the first year, started her career as good as you can start a career. Homered in each of her first 2 plate appearances as a Wildcat in consecutive games against Memphis. Only 2 strikes. The 2-0 cracked on the left side of the infield through the gap. Coming around and in to score is Donahue. We're all tied up, thrown out on the base path. So much going on. Northwestern, the headline is Northwestern ties the game, but also Kelsey Nader having to walk back into the dugout. Michigan able to record the 2nd out of the inning. Tons to sort through, Noah. So we'll try and take another look and wade through all the action.
Well, great piece of hitting by Wrench. She takes a pitch down the middle and goes the other way sharply with it. The send all the way. Nader gets a little too aggressive, but this is a great job on the throw from Stevenson. It's so easy as a left fielder to get jazzed up on that throw and miss your cutoff. She hits Erickson right in the chest. Nader gets over aggressive, and Erickson cuts her down. That is great job of knowing your responsibility from Stevenson. Not trying to make the play all on her own, throw a runner out at the plate. Instead, she hits her cut and gets the job done, and Michigan steals what could be a massive out in what looked like a huge inning that was building for the Wildcats.
Chaotic play, but it goes from 2 on, 1 out, as Wrenchen just mentioned her ability to steal bases. She sprints 60 feet over to second and will earn her 7th stolen base of the season. Leads Northwestern.
Well, Kate Wrenchen wants to be an everyday player, and she is putting it on display so far in this one. Just so much confidence to get that RBI base hit to tie the game up, and using her speed right there. Couple successful stolen bases now for the Wildcats against Valamont.
1-1, clips the outside part of the plate. So Kania behind 1-2. It's been a fun and chaotic game, still just 3 innings in. Kania puts one to the opposite field, but way late on it.
Great job by Kania. That pitch is outside off the plate, but you can't take chances in a 2-strike count if it's a pitch you can get to. Makes no mistake, deposits it into the bleachers, lives to fight another pitch.
Kania's struggled in these situations, just 115 with runners in scoring position, jammed up. Erickson charges forward, collects it on the underhand catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Throw out the speedy Langford. Instead, Donahue able to catch it in the air. Conway, whose struggles have been well documented in this series, showed bunt on the first pitch.
Well, it's a sign of those struggles, right? She's trying to find a way on base, thinking about using her speed against a Wildcat infield that is playing very deep.
One of the fastest players on this Michigan team takes a hack at the 1-0. It's lifted, and it's gone. A solo shot for Janisa Conway. The wind carrying that out here in Rosemont. Michigan extends its lead, 7-5 Wolverines.
Well, what a weight off Janisa Conway's shoulders. She got a hold of that ball, and that wind blowing out to right field, got behind it, taking it out for the home run. First of the weekend for a Wolverine batter. You could tell she wasn't 100% sure she got all of it, but got it up into the jet stream and watched it fly. A big, big insurance run here in the 6th for Michigan.
11th hit of the day for Michigan, their 5th extra base knock. And no, not often you see a home run with that type of launching.
Yeah, 42 degrees as it went up. But again, that's what you need with this type of wind. The higher you get it, the more it's going to fly. We saw a similar swing from Emma Ray a couple innings ago, but to left field, the ball's just not carrying the same way.
More pressure on Northwestern. We'd love to wrap up the series win tonight. Michigan trying to do everything in their power to prevent that from happening. A chopper to the left side of the infield. Donahue scoops, but not in time. Putz once again legging out an infield single. She can do everything. I mean, the power, we talk about it all the time, but the speed, the fielding.
You can see the conversation over there with their first base coach about that exact thing. Carmen Greenwood poking a little fun at Putz. 4-for-4 day. That's how you bounce back after, for her, a struggle on Friday, and she went 0-for-3.
Still just a home run away from the cycle. A double, a triple, and now back-to-back singles for Putz. First pitch swinging from Hain. She rips one out to the gap in left center field. Kania and Avasado chase it down. Putz rounds third and slides in safely. Another base knock for Michigan and another score. This time it's Erin Hain joining in on the fun.
6 extra base hits for Michigan. And on the third time through the order, they are really seeing the ball well from Emma Blay. Wildcats might have left the sophomore in just a little too far. Is that, look, we had an opportunity to take care of business in the top of the 7th and we didn't. And that the time that inning cost them certainly hurt their comeback opportunity.
Ball over to the left side of the infield, potential double play, but it squirts away from the first baseman Robinson after the out was had at second. There's some confusion at the plate. Hain came around to score, and Michigan will tack on an extra run.
Well, there's a conversation with the umpires here. I think there's going to be a question about interference on the slide at second. The initial call did not seem to be made, but Kansas Robinson, well, now Kate Drohan getting an explanation from the umpire crew. I think she certainly wanted interference at second. We saw her challenge a similar play last week. We'll see if anything happens here.
Deliberation unfolding between all of the umpires and the coaches for both sides.
Well, the hand is up there, and that is not an automatic, it has to be given as interference, but it's typically frowned upon, I will say, when you slide in with your hand up and then a fake tag on the back end from Nito. So the umpires are going to look at this play, and they're looking for potential retired runner interference at second base.
Challenging possible retired runner interference at second base.
Well, Brent Harden confirming what you were speculating.
I just don't understand. This is the second time it's happened. I don't understand what Ella Stevenson is thinking to even make this a question, right? For me, based on what we're seeing, there's not enough to overturn. But I will say again for Stevenson, why even take the chance in that play? A normal slide would have not risked that at all. We did see the umpires coming out with a card. That often means an overturn, but we'll see. Could also mean the Northwestern's out of challenges.
The deliberation has come to a close. The umpires are now conferring. We wait for the call.
Obviously a big call with a run on the line here.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. There was no retired runner interference. That is Northwestern's second challenge.
Well, I think the officials got this one right. There's not enough there for retired runner interference. The hand is up a little bit. It's not enough to conclusively interfere with the throw from Nito. I think it would have been an overreach to overturn that call, and Michigan gets a crucial 9th run out of it. And again, Northwestern finds themselves giving up a 3 spot as they're coming into the inning down only 1 or 2.
2 outs, runner on second. Northwestern did record 1 out in that exchange, getting a runner at second base, but no, it's been a game of runs. Michigan jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Northwestern responded by tying the game at 5, and since then, Michigan 4 unanswered in the late stages of this game to take a commanding lead as Erickson fouls a pitch off of her leg.
Well, a couple stories as of right now. Missed opportunities for Northwestern at the plate. They had the runner doubled up that inning. Left a couple runners in scoring position the last few innings. Kelsey Nader getting caught too far around second in the big 3rd inning. But the Michigan bats have just been exceptional. 13 hits, 6 extra base hits. They have done the job offensively. Really impressive stuff from the Wolverines against this Wildcat pitching staff. When Michigan's faced anybody but Marina Mason, they've looked great.
Erickson fans at the 1-1 pitch, now behind in the count. 1-2, chopped foul.
And for Northwestern, it's been a bit of a story of the season. When anybody not named Mason is in the circle, can they get consistent pitching performances? And the answer has not often been yes.
So that last play will be called a throwing error on Grace Nito. So once again, an error for the Northwestern infield. 1-2 pitch misses away for Nito. It's her 13th error on the season, below 900 fielding percentage. Not where we're used to seeing one of the more veteran second basemen in the conference.
And just didn't make a great throw there. Had a chance with a perfect throw.
2-2 off the end of the bat, right over to Robinson. She collects, steps on first to end the inning, but Michigan scores another 3. Some insurance runs for the Wolverines. She's been excellent since coming into relief, stymieing this Cats offense.
Well, Ray is the 9th hitter she's faced, so that means second time through the order for Hain after this at bats.
Decision proving to be a pivotal one for Bonnie Thole. 1-0 to Ray outside.
Hain has allowed a couple hits, but has just done such a great job of keeping the ball out of trouble, right? No deep fly balls, nothing that's, no home runs, nothing that can really hurt you.
Ray launched a deep fly ball out to left field all the way to the warning track in her last plate appearance in the 4th inning. This one quickly sent over to the third baseman, but Erickson just fields so well at that position and throws out Ray. That's a base hit a lot of the time, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great play both ways, right? Erickson makes the play at third. Snyder makes the play at first on a short hop. This Michigan defense has been the better of the two defenses, and it's paid off. Kansas Robinson has had herself a day as well. First the base hit, and then the long ball back in the third to really get Northwestern going. Hain gets a big first pitch strike.
She falls behind 0-1. Robinson did strike out when facing Aaron Hain back in the 5th inning. Northwestern down to just 2 outs, needing to make up 4 runs.
Just felt like such a crucial play by Erickson.
So big to get the lead runner.
Yeah, and she's made a ton of huge plays in this game. You know, Northwestern's defense hasn't been bad this weekend, but Michigan's defense has been better. And that's been a big difference in the way these games have gone, especially this one.
The 0-2 lifted into left center. Charging in on it is the left fielder Stevenson, and she makes the out. Northwestern now just 1 out remaining. Otherwise, Michigan will knot this series at 1 apiece and force the rubber match tomorrow.
Well, Aaron Hain continues to keep batters off balance. Robinson sees another pitch out on the outside corner, can't do anything with it. Just great pitching in the circle from number 11.
Bridget Donahue has reached, in all 3 of her plate appearances, a single and 2 walks. She's doubled up on the base paths after singling in the 5th.
Not really her fault, was running on a 3-2 pitch. Just one of those plays.
Hain's pitch outside evens the count.
It's really been an impressive weekend for Donahue. 2 for 4 with a couple of walks at the big 3-run double yesterday.
Posting the best slugging percentage season of her career in her final season in purple and white. And now Northwestern down to its final strike. Looking to just pass the bat, get anything going.
That's the goal, but it is a long hill to climb. How calm, cool, and collected has Aaron Hain been?
1-2 is low.
If you're Northwestern, it's not going to be, I mean, it could be, but it's unlikely to be 5 hits in a row. Going to need some free passes mixed in here.
Donahue with a keen batter's eye, swings at the 2-2, jammed in the infield. Alakwa makes the play, and that'll do it. Michigan responds, a 9-5 victory. 15 hits on the day for the Wolverines, an offensive showcase for Michigan, and Aaron Hain coming in relief to close things out. A big win for Michigan to even the series and pick up their 3rd win in Big Ten play.
Well, for Aaron Hayne, the first save by any Wolverines pitcher this season. What a great time to get it at. Michigan needed her to come in clutch. It was a 1-run game when she came into the game. She nailed it down. And of course, the Michigan offense, phenomenal, led by Lauren Putz. The game that Michigan needed, Bonnie Foles' team with a huge bounce back. She pulled the right levers at the right moments. And Michigan evens the series. Should be a really fun one tomorrow.